Partnerships work when both partners are committed to each other. Picking a good partner is all centered around what are your skills, what are your contributions, what are your attributes, what are your competencies, and what are you going to deliver to the business? And it needs to complement, not conflict with, a partner. After I sold my business to $1 billion company, we took them to $4.5 billion in 36 months, and I was done for that project. So the next iteration was taking all the research for 10 years, all the business systems and processes and technologies that I created, and it was to find a way to go to the marketplace to do what I'm doing today. And my wife, which is why you want to be surrounded by great people, suggested I look at some of the social media influencers that had legitimate businesses associated with their influence. So we made a list, and when we came across Grant Cardone, to be honest, I didn't like Grant at first. She showed me a video. He was running around with a money gun and a hat sideways doing his hey, hey, hey thing. And I was like, man, this can't be legit. But she stayed on me. Got me to read his book. Then I read his next book and his next book. And then we made the decision to go to GrowthCon in 2019 to see what this was about. And no one knew us. We didn't know them. And we went for 5 specific things we were looking for. 1, does Grant and Elena really work in the business together? Because my wife and I wanted to do something together. 2, the audience that he has is the kind of audience that we can help with everything that I had been researching and studying because we didn't know. The 3rd, do we have products and services that would complement his products and services or conflict against? The 4th was, is he a legit guy? Or is he just like popping in and doing the entry and then everybody else behind him is doing their thing? So is he actively involved in the business? And then the 5th, most important, is I had already accomplished. Remember, my target was 10 million at 27, 75 million at 47, and 350 million by 53. Well, that's 51 and a half years old. And so I had no visibility in how to create an extra $300 million or $275 million in net worth in 2 years. So the question I had is he really successful enough that if I could complement what he was doing by helping me, could we create a $350 million net worth for me? And I'm proud to say that he hit all 5 of those boxes in the first half of the first day of GrowthCon. And it really helps to have friends because John Maxwell was a featured speaker there. And he's a dear friend, phenomenal mentor. He was actually at my book release to talk about what he's watched me build in 3 separate companies and what I did to help him in his company to validate that what I wrote in this book is true. And John and I are very close, and I helped him grow his business in 2012 and 13. So he pulled Grant aside and pointed at us, and he said, hey, if you get a chance to meet those 2 people, anything that guy tells you is the truth. So when I met Grant, he's like, you came with some high regard from John Maxwell. And that was the start of our relationship. And I told him I was there to see if we'd make good partners or not. And that's how we became partners. In my book, I even put my intention statements in it. And one of my intention statements is to be the best partner anybody could ever have. So partnerships work when both partners are committed to each other and not self-committed. So the most important thing in a partnership, I do believe collaboration is the highest form of currency. Most people want to go it alone and they want to keep everything themselves. And then when they do partner, it's usually because they want somebody to pick up the slack and do the things they don't want to do, but then they need to be a good partner on their side of the equation and do exactly the same for that partner. So what allows partnerships, and I work in turnarounds, this is my expertise, and a lot of them have partnership breakups or spousal breakups. It's important to remember out of the 31.5 million businesses under 100 million, 93% of those businesses have family involved. If it's a family partnership, it really goes bad if they break up, right? So picking a good partner is all centered around what are your skills, what are your contributions, what are your attributes, what are your competencies, and what are you going to deliver to the business? And it needs to complement, not conflict with, a partner. And then it adds value and compounds and accelerates growth. But most people form partnerships because of what they don't want to do, hoping the other partner is going to do that, and then neither partner do it because like attracts like.